boxes. So, this is critical. Baba says we think one thing, we say something else, and then we do something entirely different. Our thoughts, words, and deeds are not one. Now, why is this so important? Hit it.
Yes.
Ah-cha! Now, you see that little thing at the bottom that says foundation, the basis of all learning, right conduct, truth? Now, most of us say, oh, we never lie to our kids. We tell our kids the truth. Remember what I just said? Thought, word, deed, consequence. We told our child one thing, but he did something entirely different. That's not truth. That's sending the wrong message to the kid. They can't trust what mother and dad says. When you make a house rule, when you finally decide that you want something to be done, even if it's only one thing, make sure you're consistent. I had a terrible time being consistent. We would tell the kid one time and follow through, and another time we would tell them and we wouldn't follow through. So it sends mixed messages to the children, and what they're learning is that what mom and dad think and say, they don't do. We have to be aware of the consequences. Okay, honey. Now, I want to connect this real fast for you. There's 4 steps to an action. Thought, word, deed, and consequence. Thought is our knowledge. The word is the decision. I will do. That's the word that we heard started creation. That is the sound that we heard started creation. The decision. The deed is the performance of the act, and the consequence is the result. So for everything we do, there's thought, there's a decision, there's an action, and there's a result. The intellect is where we think. That's where thought exists. Discrimination is where the decision-making process is. We learn through what we do, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. That's the rational, the reasoning aspect of man. Emotion is our motivation for movement. E-motion. Emotion. Why do you think they spend so much money bringing in motivational speakers when you're in sales? To motivate you to move, right? Movement is what moves us to perform. And if you stop and analyze your behavior, you will find that what stops you from doing something is you don't feel like doing it. Emotion. I am walking by an ice cream counter, and I love ice cream. I'm thinking, oh, that ice cream. And then I hear inside, ice cream, all these facts about ice cream. It's high in fat. I have a cholesterol problem. If I eat ice cream, it's going to increase the cholesterol. I come into my decision-making process, my discriminating part, and it says, no, don't eat the ice cream, based upon facts. Oh, but it's going to taste so good. I feel like eating ice cream, so I'll go get the ice cream cone and eat it. It's our feelings that stop us from doing what we know is right to do. We just don't feel like doing it. How does that connect with the human values program that Sai Baba has? Put it back to where it was.
Oh. Oops.
We need help. We did it again.
There it is.
You got it? Ah, hey. The job of the intellect is to seek truth. The job of discrimination is to seek right conduct. The job of emotion is to seek peace, and when thought, word, and deed is one, there's peace inside. The job of the physical body of man is to seek nonviolence, because the physical body of man has suffered and enjoyed the consequences of all of man's acts. Nonviolence of the physical and nonviolence of our planet. Okay, honey, go on. That gives you an idea of the Harmony House. If I took out the walls of this house, if we took these walls out, what would happen? Would it collapse? Huh? Would it fall down? That's what's happened to our families. We've taken out the discipline, the boundaries, the rules, and the limits. And that's how come we have a lot of difficulty, because the disciplining for the children has gone astray. Before I get to that, where's my friend, Mr. Reddy?
There he is.
What time do we finish? 9:15? Okay. All right, I got to keep on time. So, television. Oy, Robert started talking about that. You see, television and commercials create so much of our problems, and we're not even aware of it. I want to...
Should I tell him that story about the baby?
Mm-hmm.
I tell you an interesting story. We were at a house, and I heard this, and Rita heard this. I hate my daddy. I hate my daddy. What's going on? Now, the child is playing, but the television is on. The child isn't watching the television, but playing with toys. It's in a cartoon. I hate my daddy. What a terrible thing. Of course, you bite your tongue. You know, that's what we got to do as grandparents. A year later, we're over there. The father is correcting the child because he did something wrong. Now, this child isn't old enough for discrimination. But what does the child say? I hate you, Daddy. I hate you, Daddy. The father turns and says, oh, how painful that I have to correct my child and have him say that to me. Child doesn't know what he's saying. But see how that TV was on, was going in, creating one of those little black things up there. And I want to tell you today, in the last year, when I've been back in America and watching TV overseas, every new show almost is making children smarter than parents. You watch it. Parents are constantly being put down that they don't know this, they don't know about computers, I'm smart. And the amazing thing is, the #1 cartoon movie was Finding Nemo or something like that, the fish movie. Everybody was talking about it. I watched that movie at the kids' house. They had it. So I went over to her niece's house, whose husband's a doctor. And the child's 5 years old, and he has another one too. So I said to the niece, who's supposed to be educated, her husband's a doctor, supposed to know all these scientific facts. I said, what was the message in that movie? I don't know, the child enjoyed it. The message was, my father isn't secure enough. He has fear in him that I can't go to my goal and succeed. I am constantly telling my father, I can do it, Father. Why are you afraid? Now, what message is that sending to children? And I looked at her and said that. And she looked back and said, I never thought of it. Do you see how we have to quote